to another episode of 12 Cars. I've had the Mini now for a few weeks. I have to say, so far I really like it. I thought it'd be a good idea to take it down to the British seaside, get it on some proper country roads, have some real fun, and get some more in-depth impressions on what it's really like to drive fast. Before then, I know last time I told you a little bit about what makes the Works GP so special. So the lack of rear seats, strut brace and so on, but there's actually a lot more to it than that, and I want to just take you around the car and show you everything that's unique about this car as opposed to a bog standard Cooper S or JCW. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but as I say, this is quite a unique little car and I want to show you why. The first thing to note about the GP is that it wasn't even built at the Mini plant in Cowley in Oxford. The body in white, i.e. the bare shell, were actually shipped over to Bertone in Italy, and the car was assembled there. You might be able to see from here the car sits about 10mm lower than standard. It's on bespoke spring and dampers. The aerodynamics have been fettled, so that big carbon rear wing is there. The front and rear spoilers are deeper, the side skirts are bigger, and they've even gone so far as to include some underbody panelling to smooth airflow under the car. Engine-wise, the GP puts out 8 horsepower more than the standard JCW. They've achieved this with a larger intercooler, with upgraded injectors, an upgraded air intake system, and a freer flowing exhaust as well. Weight-wise, Mini have really gone to town with it. They actually banned xenon headlamps as an option because they weigh 7 kilos more than the standard halogens. The wheels are 2.5 kilograms each lighter. And at the back, they've changed the rear suspension arms from steel items to alloy, saving 7.5 kilos on each side. Doesn't end there. The rear wiper has been deleted. The rear seats aren't there, and in their place is a lovely alloy strut brace. Sound deadening has also been removed in the pursuit of weight savings. Let's look at the interior. Those Recaros are really nice. There's a special GP 3-spoke wheel which is made out of leather and Alcantara, which I also like. There's that horrible carbon shift knob that I've complained about before. And there's some other bits of carbon trim and so on. So it's quite nice. On the roof, importantly, is the serial number of each of one of these cars. So this is number 786 out of the limited run of 2000. But enough of this now. Let's go and seize the drive. Okay, so far I've been on quite smooth flowing A roads. I'm now on a really tight, bumpy, amazing B road right on the coast, and I think it's going to suit the Mini well. And I have to say, so far, it's fucking brilliant. On these little British country roads, A roads, B roads especially, it's so pointy, so agile, it just works so well. Maybe it's even a bit too agile and a bit too pointy, if anything. On getting close to the limit, the front end feels really, really lively. Suspension wise, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's stiff, but you can feel that it's soaking everything up. If anything, to be honest, I'd maybe like it to have a little bit more damping. It feels a little bit loose at the edges when you're really going for it, but it's not bad. It is really, really good. Engine wise, it's not the most charismatic lump in the world. The supercharger makes up for a lot of that. Makes it a lot more fun, although the delivery is very, very linear. But it pulls really, really well. This thing really is fun. A few ramblers there. I'm going to slow down a bit so I don't piss them off too much.
Well, not too much anyway. So yeah, back to the engine. I think it's got the right amount of power. 220 brake is about right for this car. I don't think it could really cope with much more than that. You can feel, once the traction control is off, on the tighter bends, if you put your foot down, you can feel a hint of, you know, of torque steer. It's not much, it doesn't really get in the way, but you can feel it's there, and I think that any more power than this and it would struggle despite the, you know, the limited slip diff. The throttle response is brilliant, it's immediate. I mean, that's a supercharger, but it's also the way the injection's set up. So overall, engine, I think it works really well in this car. It's not one of the all-time greats. Sound-wise, I'm not sure if this is just a works exhaust which it has, or if the GP works. It's a special exhaust. It's got a nice warble to it, and also on the overrun, it pops and crackles, which is nice. Changing the front discs, which I did, has actually fixed the high-speed brake shudder which it had, judder. So that's welcome bit of news, really. Now, brake-wise, I think they're adequate. I could do with more stopping power, and I think, again, going back to the damping on the front, I think a little bit more damping would make it feel a little bit more stable under heavy braking when you're really going for it. But basically, the brakes work. They're not brilliant, nothing to speak of, but they're okay. The feel's good, you know, they're all right. The gear change we've spoken about before. It's shit. I'm not gonna sort of wonder very much, talk much more about that. There's no point. It's not great, it's too long, it's not cheap, but it doesn't get in the way too much.
I think you can tell I like this Mini. I've really enjoyed thrashing the GP. I know it's a cliche, but it really is the closest thing to a go-kart this side of a Caterham. I've not driven the later cars, but they don't have mechanical LSDs, and apparently as a result, they've not quite hit the magic spot like this one. They're also fucking ugly. Perhaps that's why this is on its way to becoming a collector's item. Either way, it's been a very worthy first car in the 12 cars lineup, and I'm going to be really sorry to see it go. But go it must, so this one is now for sale on eBay. If you're looking for a low mileage GP, then take a look. I've got an Integrale to go and buy. That will be car number 2.